chorizo, 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 chorizo is today's Japanese slang word. Now, in terms of what this word means, it's pretty simple. It's just a greeting. It's like, hey, hi. And it's especially appropriate if you're one, talking to a squirrel, which is extremely squirrel, or more likely, greeting somebody who is a gyaru, because the term is very much associated with the gyaru community. However, while meaning-wise this is a very, very simple term, it's actually kind of mysterious because we don't really know where it came from. There are a lot of shortened greetings in Japanese which are associated with various youth groups, whatever, and often kind of looked down upon here and there, but most of them we can kind of trace the etymology of it. For instance, osu is pretty easy to follow as a shortening of ohayo gozaimasu into ohayosu and then osu. Likewise, with something like azasu meaning thanks, you can see how it could come from arigato gozaimasu, even if it has to hop a bit to go from a to za to su. But nobody really knows where chorizo came from, with this dictionary here just calling it unknown at the current time. But we do know who like to use chorizo, and that is again gyaru. This is so associated with this group of individuals that in 2009 it was listed as one of the top gyaru terms for that year. And that year does seem to be more or less the origin year, although some sources do say that it originated specifically in Kanto gyaru around 2008. Others even argue that while Kanto is definitely the area, this term has been used in like the clubbing scene since 1990 or so. But while I can't prove that at all, I can show that, yeah, it was in use by 2008 and I can't find earlier data, so that start date at least makes sense to me. It follows what I can see. Indeed, in 2008 you can even find in 2 different spelling variants, and this also lines up with Google Trends. So if there was a bunch of clubbing people in the Kanto region in the 1990s using this term, their existence has more or less been lost to history. However, beyond just kind of general use among the gyaru community, there are 2 big flashpoints that jumped chorizo into kind of broader awareness, as many Japanese people will know this term even if they don't use it. The first major influence is Kinoshita Yukina, who used to be a model and TV personality, but now is well known on YouTube, TikTok, etc. Initially, she kind of had a gyaru image and really liked to use chorizo, to the extent that it's very much associated with her. Indeed, when she first made her own YouTube channel in November of 2021, the first thing that she said was, well, chorizo. Chorizo. And like when she got hired to do some beer advertisements for Kirin, guess what they had her say? On top of this though, and kind of bizarrely, this is also well known within the Japanese horse racing community, because in 2009, so just after the term started to see real use, a jockey named Masaumi Matsuoka used this term when interviewed about his win in a horse race. And this is why, even in 2025, if you look up uses of this term online, you will find people just using it in references to horses and horse racing, even if I doubt people at these events are saying this as a greeting to one another. And while this term is very much an old gyaru term, like I don't think current gyaru find it to be hip and fashionable, it's not dead. You can easily find people using it online, including, people who are clearly doing gyaru stuff. And yeah, sure, some of it's probably ironic, but that doesn't mean it's not use. And indeed, it still has some kind of mainstream existence because remember that squirrel joke I did at the beginning? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not the only person that's thought of this, because the mascot of the Japanese bank JA Bank is a squirrel, and guess what their name is? It's chorizo. Now, as far as I can tell, this bank has not officially acknowledged that this term is the source of their mascot's name, and indeed they do have a kind of excuse as to why not. Because way back, before 2012, the bank's mascot was this thing, which is a goldfish which saves you money. So if you haven't caught on to the wordplay already, saving money in Japanese is chokin, and a goldfish is kingyo, so if you combine them together, you get the name of this thing, which is chokingyo. In 2012 though, they switched to the squirrel, giving it the name of chorizo, and this of course could be, if we pretend that no one at the bank had ever talked to a gyaru before, a combination of chokin and risu, which is a squirrel, with the idea that the squirrel is storing money in its cheeks. Now, there are many Japanese people on the internet who have noted that, hey, this is probably a reference. And indeed, the bank has even more recently used chorizo in an advertisement. So look, you can draw your own conclusions, but I personally think if it was not for some linguistically adventurous gyaru in 2009 or so, this squirrel would not exist. And that's it, we're done. So I guess now we have to come up with a term for goodbye, which might be this backwards. I don't know. Surochi.
Stop trying to make surochi happen. It's not going to happen.
Please.